Change lives.
Cambiar vidas.
Change lives.
Change organizations. 改变世界.
Change organization.
Change the world.
My former student David Yeager and I have been very concerned about violence in school. And we realized that students' beliefs play an important role in this. What we learned was that some students believe that people are just fixed. If you're a bully, you'll always be a bully. If you're a victim, you'll always be a victim. So when they're excluded or bullied, they feel, that's a bad person, I hate them. I feel like a loser, I'm ashamed of myself. And they desire violent retaliation. But when they believe people can change, when they believe people have all kinds of motivations, they're not good or bad, they're insecure or they have these needs, but those can change, they react in a much less aggressive way. They understand that a bully might not always be a bully, a victim might not always be a victim. And so their response is so much more adaptive. Recently, David Yeager and I created a training program that taught students this growth mindset, this idea that people have thoughts and feelings, the thoughts and feelings live in their brain and can change. And we showed lowered aggression in the laboratory and in the classroom. These were high school students. The teacher said, "Why are you working with these students? They cannot change." So the teachers had a fixed mindset about the students. And yet, when we addressed the beliefs that they had, that the students had, what happens is that a lot of students start believing that there are these fixed types of people. But when they learn a growth mindset, they understand that no one's fixed. Everyone has the potential for change. And somehow it makes them react to exclusion, bullying, aggression with much less retaliation. First, we brought them into a situation where they were excluded and they had the opportunity to retaliate against the excluder. We showed that kids who had the growth mindset intervention were 40% less likely to retaliate and 2 to 3 times as likely to engage in prosocial behavior. Their teachers reported much improved conduct in the classroom. Their attendance in school was better, and their suspensions were way down. The problem in high school gets worse. People are shifting social groups. Everyone's vying for status. Social labels are flying around and being put on everyone. So kids are really uptight. And if you add to this the idea that they might be a fixed person who's always going to be picked on or always going to be a loser, then these conflagrations begin. We had a group in our study that was taught coping skills. It didn't help them deal with aggression. They retaliated just as much, they felt just as bad. They showed no improvement in conduct in the classroom. They did report fewer depressive symptoms, but it didn't help them cope socially. Whereas changing their beliefs, their mindsets about whether people can change had an across-the-board positive effect. So we thought, why not go to the mother of all conflicts, the Middle East? And what we found with Jewish Israelis, Palestinian Israelis, Palestinians in the West Bank was that the more they had this growth mindset, the idea that groups did not have a fixed or evil nature but could change, the more positive were their attitudes about their adversary, and the more they were willing to make compromises for peace. We're very excited about these findings, and we're hoping first to refine these interventions so that we can see longer-term change and more widespread change. I grew up in an era that had very much a fixed mindset. In my 6th grade class, we were seated around the room in IQ order. And so I ask people to think about this. How do we want the current era to be remembered? Do we want to be remembered as people who measured each other and sorted each other into categories? Or do we want to be remembered as people, as scientists who understood people and understood how to help them fulfill their potential?
Change lives.
Cambiar vidas.
Change lives.
Change organizations. 改变世界。
Change organization.
Change organizations.
Change the world.